Welcome to FlameFlash.net podcast episode 61. We're on the road again. We're going to start right in on the Raptor report. And I know where my Pepsi is. So if you've actually come and visited my profile on Raptor.com, RAPTR.com, I'm FlameFlash over there too. And I found my Pepsi. Excellent. So let's get this started. I'm sampling Pepsi far too late for my usual self, but I also want to try to not fall asleep tonight because there's quite a bit going on out there and I want to hit it. The Raptor report, though, first off, Lego Indiana Jones 2. Now, funny thing about Lego Indiana Jones 2, when you put the disc in and start the game up, the default option is New Game. So, when a 4-year-old climbs the bookshelf, the one behind me, if you're watching the video, climbs the bookshelf, gets the game case, puts the disc in, and starts the game, he's going to overwrite the save file. Guaranteed. New game. Yes, overwrite. Yes, save here. Come on. Traveler's Tales, you can do better than this. Do a simple if-then statement. I know, simple, haha, this is programming. Send out a patch that says, if I find a save file, put load as the default option. If I don't find a save file on the system, put new as the default option. How is that hard? It certainly would have saved my oldest some heartbreak. Fortunately, the level builder, the main reason that he desperately wanted it, kept the levels intact. He only had to replay the tutorials. So I have no clue where in the world on the console all of his levels are being saved. But his game progress was lost. So I took about half an hour to re-unlock the game builder, the world builder for this game by playing through the first episode. And there we have it. 30 minutes of Lego Indiana Jones 2. NBA Jam on Fire Edition. I haven't had a chance to sit down and play this game for quite a long time. Had the hankering to play it, and was quite pleased with the results. I got smashed by the AI. But that's not the fun part about NBA Jam, fortunately. The fun part is the announcer. It's sending people flying across the court with a nice good shove. It's watching a digital representation of the presidents sprawled out on the floor with a surprised look on their face because you just stole the ball from them. The Santa Claus North Polar team, by the way, the elf named Boom was aptly named Boom because the announcer will happily yell Boom Shakalaka quite often as this tiny little guy goes in for the massive dunks. Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. Xbox version. That's right. We're tracking the physical card game. Need more Pepsi. The physical card game with 2012. So now it splits off finally in my Raptor tracking. And I'm loving the game still. Clocked in about 2 hours. Unlocked a couple more decks. Still got smashed in Plane Chase. I'm playing the wrong deck, I've decided. I absolutely love the burn deck through the campaign, but I need to find one other deck that will handle multiplayer quite well, not tick off the AI. I'm a little scared of the black deck for that. And attack. Go forth and really try out the multiplayer. I may have to go green, and I don't like that. I love green and the Hulk smash with big creatures style, but I also like spells and spell flinging, and that's what Magic the Gathering is to me these days. Not just the brute force brunt attack of an army of 20 creatures marching across and destroying my enemy. I like to subtly do it. Subtly pull the rug ever so slowly by unraveling it out from under them. Not just quick yank and suddenly they're sprawled out on the floor. That's how I enjoy playing the game. Doesn't always work. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racers. What? It's kind of an old game, but it's a fun one. I've had a hankering for a kart racer for a while now after beating Mario Kart 7, and this fills that niche nicely. I beat the Mario Kart Wii version. The Wii died. That killed the Wii for us. We shouldn't have even sent it in to get it repaired, because we lost all of our game save progress. And because of that, we haven't gone back to most of our games. Even the backlog, like Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2. In Mario Galaxy 2, we got for free as an apology from Nintendo for them frying our memory. But something about the Wii was lost when its memory was lost. Something deeper than just, oh, it's a brand new system, basically. So, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racers. I'm Flame Flash City 2 over on Xbox Live. And I finally had a good online Xbox Live experience. Because clearly nobody was wearing their headphones. They were just there to play. Finally. So, my biggest mistake, I think, was to go try Uno as my introduction to Xbox Online. And it was so early in the console's life cycle that everybody was still going, ooh, headset, ooh, camera, let's put the headset on, let's put the camera on, let's look at everybody, let's talk to everybody, instead of, no, I want a game. Which seems to now be the attitude, and I'm really thankful for that. The Sims 3 came up again on the Raptor Report. Sadly, I oddly can't recall if I got to play this game or if one of the kids or my wife fired it up. It's a great game. Not much more to say about it. Hidden Springs, I believe I commented on last week. That was the latest stuff pack downloadable thing that we picked up for it. And I still really like the game. If I had more time, that's one of the ones I'd be heavily playing. I know that for sure. World of Warcraft shows up on the Raptor Report next. And we'll get to why it shows up in this in a moment. But great as always. Tried out Zul'Gurub in a pug, and now I remember why I gave up on doing Dungeon Finder. Because I zoned in clearly on a run already in progress, so I still haven't seen the whole thing. Then the tank gets all uppity because the Raptor mount drops and the quote-unquote worst DPS is the one that gets it. Well, this is a first tier heroic at this point. If you're a bad DPS, doesn't that mean you might be there to actually gear up? Give it a rest, tank. But he leaves the moment he gets the mount, so hopefully that guy that handed it over after harassment filed a ticket to get it back, but I doubt he'd be successful anyway. But we move on. I'm totally clueless in this place. And yes, I probably should have done some research, but I'm the healer. All I really have to do is make sure nobody else dies. And make sure I don't stand in crap so that I die. But we move on. We cycle through another tank, another DPS, people getting impatient, people not knowing the fights, people returning to the game to get a feel for it before Mists comes out. Because they didn't like Cataclysm for whatever reason. And what are you going to do in the game? You're going to run dailies, and you're going to run heroics, or you're going to level a character. And so they chose to run heroics and get lambasted because they didn't know the fights as well as they quote-unquote should have. The next couple of days, did dailies. I just don't have the patience for that kind of impatience anymore with people. I just don't. But somehow I did find on my druid, I am now the assistant GM of my guild. Not quite sure how that happened. Nobody talked to me about it. Just bam, there it is. So I have the great one of the add-ons I have is social state. So it just gives me a drop-down menu right along the top to see who's online in my friends list, who's online in the guild, and what their titles are, notes, my notes from my friends list, etc. There it was, plain as day. Guild rank, assistant GM. Cool. Went through, made sure my alts were of the appropriate level based on their reputation with the guild, because that's how they do it when they're non-raiders. And that was that. Nothing really changed for me because nobody's really been on. I don't know if everybody's taking a summer hiatus. I don't know if it's because everybody's waiting for Mists to come out. I'm going to stick with this guild long enough to see if Mists breathes more life into it. Otherwise, I'm probably going to move on. We'll see. Terraria shows up again at the top because my daughter decided after she was done playing today, she would log out fully but leave the game running and then close my laptop so that the baby couldn't attack it. So Terraria showed up as me having played a 12-hour marathon. My one complaint about Raptor is that there's not a oops, I didn't really play it that long option. C'est la vie. I'm now definitely ranked pretty high on this game, and cool. 29 hours clocked this week. Not all real playtime, but oh well. So, now that the Raptor report's through, I'm Flame Flash over there. Find me. Track me down on the various gaming platforms that I participate on. PSN, Xbox Live, World of Warcraft, Steam. I'm Flame Flash over there. Just don't send me random weird group invites. I've been getting a lot of those recently, and I don't understand why. At all. PlayStation Realm, since I'm mentioning Steam. Final Fantasy VII is approaching with achievements. It's not a remastered, it's not a redone, it's not a re-anything. It's just the old Final Fantasy VII re-released on the PC. Now, what some folks don't seem to remember is, aside from the achievements, Final Fantasy VII was already released on the PC. I remember drooling at the box because I didn't own a PlayStation, and I had a Mac. So I was out of luck until a really old emulator, only for Mac, showed up. You had to own a legal copy of the disc. So I went to Walmart, bought the $20 budget version of Final Fantasy VII that was available at that point, slid the disc into my Mac, and it played perfectly. Got a USB PlayStation 1 look-alike controller, and there I went. This one comes with achievements, probably encouraging you to play it even longer. I'm not sure why anybody would go back now, though. If you've played Final Fantasy VII at this point, why go back? It didn't seem to grab and hold on to my son either. I don't know if that's because the story starts out too slowly, if the graphics are poor, so an HD remake would bring him in. I just don't know. He likes Terraria. That's 16-bit graphics. So why no love of Final Fantasy VII? I just don't understand. Oh well. In the show notes, you're going to come across a PC gaming mouse with a fan. Be warned. I found it funny. It was a random tweet. No price was listed when I went to the site, but it's just kind of funny, the idea that a gamer's hands might sweat so much that they need a personal hand fan for their mouse. Maybe I'm too old at this point, but it doesn't compute with me. Maybe I just don't game enough anymore because I'm an adult that has other duties. Who knows? Console World. Marvel vs. Capcom Origins is now coming out. It's in the works. This is going to combine Marvel superheroes, that fighter, with Marvel vs. Capcom 1. To me, it seems like they're milking it for all it's worth at this point. I'm probably not going to pick it up. I'd much rather finally pick up Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Or just go and track down a copy of the Street Fighter Collector's Edition Anniversary Edition thing for $150. I'd get a Ryu statue. A Ryu statue is awesome in and of itself. Other console-wide things. There's a Ouya Kickstarter. Ouya. I didn't watch their YouTube to see what it was how it was actually pronounced. They're trying an open source Google Android OS based console. My hat is off to you, good sirs. If I had a hat, there we go. My hat is off to you. And I wish them luck. Clearly my head is too large for the random Mario hat that I grabbed off my desk. But I wish them luck. I have yet to participate in the Kickstarter. I don't really see the appeal. Maybe if I launched one of my own I would understand. He won't be doing that. No plan anytime soon at least. But there it is. Console news otherwise, Awesome Knots. I've mentioned this in the Raptor report before. Awesome Knots is going to bring a balancing update with two new characters. A turret-based dude, so he clunks down, hunkers down, and is basically a turret that sits there and shoots at everybody. Heavily armored, I would assume, but stationary. And then the gal is electrical based and wants to kill you as you're moving. So if you're standing your ground and fighting her, you're if you're playing as her, you should probably run away. So the turret new guy versus the electrical new gal probably isn't going to happen very often. But now that we've transitioned from the consoles, how about World of Warcraft? Another Fire Festival has concluded now. I got to do what I wanted to do, which was level a couple of characters from the torch tossing and catching, and helped the son get his character the Flame Warden title. Now, why would I dedicate so much time to that? Because I have a couple of characters over on the kids' account. So now all my characters, regardless of what account, will have the Flame Warden title. Awesome! I'll probably help them get, or at least pursue, some of the other titles as they slowly come up. Because with the shared achievement system of Mists, it's going to be much more economical to only focus on one character for achievements. And if you happen to get the odd achievement somewhere else that you didn't have anywhere else, cool. Now you have it everywhere. A guild mentoring program. Garona is on that list. Sadly, my home server of Zangarmarsh is not. Now, I mentioned Garona because the friend of mine who drug me kicking and screaming into the game and has since quit, shame on you, Mr. T. Well, he's familiar with the server, Garona. So, assuming it's a long-standing guild on the server, it'll be neat to hear his thoughts on whoever lands the guild mentoring program. Personally, I wish it was on Zangarmarsh because it sounds fantastic, and now that I'm assistant GM, I could bug the GM into signing us up for it. Bring a little more life to the late game cataclysm until Mists kicks in. We'll stay in the world of Blizzard, but transition from Warcraft to Diablo 3. Friendly warning, if you're running Linux and you're running Diablo 3 through Wine, you might be labeled as a cheater and get the ban hammer. Stop playing it on a system that's not officially supported. I totally respect the idea of Linux users doing as much and anything, for that matter, that they want to do with their computer. But I also have to respect Blizzard's ruling on the matter that they have no idea what you're doing under the hood. They just don't. You might just be running Wine, but Wine can be manipulated. And because it can be manipulated without the warden, Blizzard's checker, seeing if it's been manipulated or not, all they can do is safely ban you. It's a shame. They shouldn't. But they are, because you're running on an unsupported platform as it is. In positive news, the player armory is on its way for Diablo 3. I really hope Raptor supports this more than they've supported, say, the StarCraft 2 armory. As I mentioned on the post that I'll be linking to in the show notes, I think one of the reasons why I'm not as gung-ho into StarCraft or Diablo and getting all of those achievements is because there's no place for me to go, hey, I got this achievement, yay, and comparing to my friends. I can't do that because Raptor can't easily query those like it can World of Warcraft's. So get on that, Blizzard and Raptor. Kind of completes the gaming news cycle. Let's tap a little bit into random news from the internet, like a couple getting arrested on a subway platform for dancing. That's right. So, No ID. They're asked to stop, ask for their IDs. The lady didn't have one. She just had her credit card with her name on it. Why are you only carrying your credit card with your name on it? That's my question to you, miss. Anyway, the boyfriend pulls out a camera to document the process, and the officer throws him to the ground, basically. It doesn't go, camera pulls out, get thrown to ground, but why such a harsh reaction to being recorded? If you can record me on a traffic stop without my consent, I should be able to record you openly, publicly, without a hidden camera, without your consent, Mr. Police Officer, or Ms. Police Officer. It's for my personal protection just as much as it is for yours. Because I could incriminate myself with that camera recording. Of course, I'd protect myself with the Fifth Amendment after that, but it's still true that I'm protecting both of us with the recording. Should mean we're both on our best behavior. They were charged with resisting arrest and for impeding traffic flow. I'm just going to hang my head in shame. The charges were eventually dropped. They got out of jail 23 hours later, and they are now suing the city. Iran, hey, we're going to jump into politics. World politics. Iran seems to be starting to feel the oil embargoes. All of the embargoes have been placed on them recently. That's about it. That's good news. So, peaceful economic pressures are actually working. Huh, who knew? The FBI would definitely appreciate a backdoor to, say, your Facebook or other social media sites, while the National Security Agency, NSA, simply points and laughs. They already have all that. Supposedly, they want the back door because wiretaps are becoming harder and harder to come across. I am right now talking to you, the internet, through a technical medium that could not be foreseen. Neither could telephone, really, but it's at least easier to tap into. If this was set to be private, if I was recording this privately, and then going to send it off with secret encoded messages for my fellow conspirators, well, I could. And there'd be nothing they could do to stop me, or listen in, or comprehend because I'd use some kind of secret code. But they just want the ability to be able to, quote unquote, wiretap your Skype phone call. No. Heck no. It's bad enough that they file, 50,000 requests or more for tapping wireless phones. My Twitter's already public. Feel free to monitor that. I don't mind it being public, at FlameFlash. SOPA's attempting to return, though, too. The fellow who backed it originally, he's trying to slip it in different places. Treaty here, a farm bill there. I really wish somebody would just defeat him at the polls and get him out of there. But even in the primary, where he was challenged, he has too much money to be able to be challenged. Anonymous's billboard to unseat Lamar Smith failed. He had too much money in his coffers. Yay for more privacy violations. Russia approves a SOPA-like law. So, my apologies, and I wish you good luck, Russia. No net neutrality for you. A laser scanner should be able to check what you had for breakfast pretty soon in the airports. Don't take my word on it. Go read this article. It's very kind of scary and foreboding how they discuss it. And it makes me, again, not want to go to airports or use the air travel system at all. Not because I fear flying. I've flown to places, but I don't like the idea of somebody shooting me up with some laser that operates on high band frequency similar to infrared and be able to tell what I have for breakfast. Pop-Tarts, by the way. There's probably Pops. Just saying. See, there's a difference. I freely gave the information, as opposed to it just being jerked out of me, forcefully. But those are some friendly little warnings of how the pot of water is slowly boiling away the freedom frog and killing it. Let's hop into something a little happier, like the internet. Penny Arcade is setting up their Kickstarter. So we have a console Kickstarter and we have a Penny Arcade Kickstarter. They're trying to get enough donations on Kickstarter to no longer require doing ads on their site for a year. I wish them luck. I'm also not going to participate in that, partially because their tier reward system seems a little bit, well, stupid. Just flat out will say it. I linked to their Kickstarter. Go check it out for yourself. Argue with me. MyExtraLife.com had a great commentary cartoon just on the Kickstarter thing in general. So I was sure to link there for that too, under that. You Don't Know Jack, speaking of Penny Arcade, get some good coverage on the Penny Arcade news site. Good article. I'm really happy for the You Don't Know Jack folks, especially since I know one of the writers on the team. And it's a great game. You should be going and checking it out. You should be using some of those spare Facebook credits that you got from all those random Sunkists that you were drinking, or Sundrops, A&Ws, that kind of thing. Use your Facebook credits, those free ones. They'll still get the money out of Facebook that way. The Booze Cube. Now, drink responsibly. In fact, I don't promote drinking whatsoever. Grab yourself a Pepsi and play the game that way. You'll still have to go to the bathroom just as much, and you'll be bouncing off the walls from caffeine. Just like I will be, when I should be going to bed after this. But oh well. The Booze Cube, Magic the Gathering drinking game. The card concepts, the images they picked up. Captain Morgan is a planeswalker, for crying out loud. We have a Captain Jack Sparrow. We have a designated driver character. These are quite amusing. Check it out. Not fully sure the concept is fleshed out totally yet, but it's a neat concept, even if I don't promote using alcohol. Go poison yourself if you want. I just don't do it. Not for me. And I apologize for that statement. You may go drink for yourself as you want, but I'll be sipping at my Pepsi. Last but not least, the newspaper, a newspaper in Idaho, was sued to reveal a commenter's identity because the commenter has a pending lawsuit against John or Jane Smith John Doe or Jane Smith or however those anonymous names or unknown names are used, for defamation of character. Clearly, yet another stupid lawmaker who has absolutely no understanding of the internet. None. Why are you even in office? Go check the article out. It's a facepalm moment, people. No. Internet trolls are everywhere. I mean, one even stumbled upon my measly little pod live feed chat room, which is always open and available to you, by the way, folks. If a troll can find me here, of course they're going to comment on a mainstream newspaper site and speak negatively about an individual. Oh no. The person claimed that this particular senator was shoving stolen money into her blouse. Well, get over yourself. You're a public figure, and you've just made yourself troll bait. If you're that thin-skinned, maybe you shouldn't have entered public service. Just saying. Oh no, I'm defaming you. No, I'm not. I'm sharing my First Amendment opinion about your choice. I don't know you. But you clearly don't understand the internet, so shouldn't be going after people on the internet. Another temperature increase on the Frog of Freedom. Well, a marginally amusing way to end the show. Episode 61. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm on iTunes. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Ustream. I'm on Twitter. I am Flameflash. This has been Flameflash.net Podcast, episode 61. Thanks for playing.